So in previous lecture we discussed about the filtration process. Okay, so after the coagulation, flocculation and sedimentation process, the next process that is you can say the filtration process. In that we discuss about the sand filter. Again we discuss about the activated carbon filter. Again we discuss about the gravity filter. So gravity filter also classify into two types: slow sand filter and rapid sand filter. And we also discuss about the difference between the slow sand filter and rapid sand filter. Okay, so basically this slow sand filter which needs larger area, rapid sand filter required a small area. Slow sand filter are mostly used in rural areas because they required larger area and larger space, and the rapid sand filter are mostly used in urban areas. Again, this slow sand filter uh, in simple in operation, and this rapid sand filter has complicated operation. Again, if you're considering maintenance, so slow sand filter are easy to maintain, and the rapid sand filter are difficult to maintain, and maintenance cost is more. The rate of filtration, you all know, the rate of filtration for slow sand filter is less, 100 to 200, and if you are considering rapid sand filter, it 3000 to 6000. And also if you consider the efficiency of slow sand filter, it remove 99% of bacteria, and if rapid sand filter consider, it remove 80 to 90% of bacteria. So these are the various points that you can say. From that point, you can classify the slow sand filter and rapid sand filter. Okay, and activated carbon filter and the pressure filter. Okay, so the last point is the pressure filter. So pressure filter is nothing but the type of filter, or simply you can say the pressure filter is a type of the rapid gravity filter. So in that case, pressure is utilized for increasing the rate of the filtration. Basically, it is 3 to 7 kg per centimeter, or that much pressure which is used to forcing the water into that filter, and so that the rate of the filtration is going to be increases. So if you are considering the rate of filtration for a pressure filter, and that rate is vary from 6000 to 15,000 liter per hour per meter square area. So that much the rate of filtration for the pressure filter. How much it is? 6000 to 15,000 liter per hour per meter square area. Okay. So this pressure filter basically a container, airtight container having a diameter 1.5 to 3 meter of diameter, and the length vary from 3.5 to 8 meter. Okay. So this filter is same like a rapid sand filter, rapid gravity filter, and basically here the pressure is used for the filtration process. Okay. So this type of filter, pressure filter, are basically used in case of the water supply for the colonies, in case of swimming pool, industrial plant, bus station, railway station. So in this area, this pressure filter are suitable to use, but this pressure filter are not suitable to use for the public water supply. Because why? These are not very efficient or very effective in removing bacteria and turbidity as compared to the rapid gravity filter and slow sand filter. Okay, so that's why these are used for the colonies, swimming pool, industrial plant, bus station, and railway station. Okay, so not for the public water supply system. So this all about the pressure filter. Okay, the same like a rapid gravity filter. Okay. After that, the last and the final treatment method for the water is nothing but the disinfection. So you can see after the sand filtration, you can see that is what the next post chlorination. Okay. So we all discuss about this unit. The first one is the lake, then intake pipe, then the protective bar screen, then we come with the pre-chlorination. So sometimes the chlorine is added before the treatment. After that, the chemical coagulation, where we are going to add alum and lime. After that, mixing up chemical. After that, flocculation. Next one is sedimentation basin, where the floc is settled down. Next one is sand filtration and activated carbon filter. And finally, the last one is the post chlorination. Okay, so that post chlorination, it is nothing but the method of the disinfection. Okay. So first thing is, what do you mean by disinfection? Okay, so disinfection, it is nothing but the process of killing of the harmful bacteria. Okay, so in the process of disinfection, we're going to kill the harmful bacteria by using different types of chemical. Okay, so after the process of filtration is completed, the water can have some impurities like bacteria and disorganic salt, color, odor, taste. sometimes iron and manganese. So it is necessary to disinfect that water before supply to the consumption or through the distribution system. Okay, so that for that purpose we require to disinfection. First, the filtration or the filtration process which not effective to remove 100% of bacteria. So some of the bacteria may always present into that water. Okay, so for the completely removal of bacteria, we need disinfection, and that process of disinfection which is used to remove or to kill the harmful bacteria which cause the waterborne diseases. Okay, so in process of disinfection, we use disinfectant. So what is disinfectant? So disinfectant, it is nothing but the material which is used for the disinfection process. Okay? The material which is used for the disinfection process, that is called as disinfectant. Okay, and that disinfectant having some basic qualities. What are the basic qualities? The dose should be given to the protection against contamination of water during convenience and also during the retention. So whatever that disinfectant, it is what? Nothing but a chemical. So that chemical we are to use to avoid the contamination of water. Okay. So this disinfectant must be effective to kill the harmful bacteria and to make the water safe for the consumption. So whatever that disinfectant we to use for the disinfection process, it must be effective to kill the harmful bacteria and to make the water safe for the consumption. Again, that disinfectant must be harmless, should be harmless, it should be economical, and it should be easily available. That is a very important thing. So whatever that disinfectant, it should be easily available, it should be economical, and it should be harmless to the handle. Okay. Again, its nature should be such that its strength can be easily determined. Suppose if you are going to add a chlorine, so what is the strength of chlorine? How much the chlorine present in water? That should be easily, or the strength can be easily determined. So that also point should be considered in the qualities of disinfectant. Okay. It use should not need to have a skill labor. That again one thing. So skill labor should not be required for the use of that particular disinfectant. That means unskilled labor also can use that particular disinfectant for the disinfection process. Okay. So it should work at a normal temperature and should take a reasonable time for the disinfection of water. So these are the some various basic qualities of disinfectant. So what are that? The first thing is that disinfectant should be harmless. Next, it should be economical. It should be easily available. Okay, its strength should be easily determined. Okay. It should not need skill labor, and it should be work at a normal temperature, and it must be effective in kill the harmful bacteria. These are the various qualities that required for that disinfectant. Okay, so there are the various methods of the disinfection. For the methods of the disinfection, so what are the methods of disinfection? The first thing you can say the boiling. So boiling of water, so it is a basic method which we're going to use daily at our own house. Okay, we're going to use the boiling process for the boiling of water, and due to boiling of water, what happens? Whatever that bacteria which present in water, that dies out or kill, and that after killing of that bacteria, you can use that water, bacteria free water, for the consumption and drinking purpose. So that is one of the method of disinfection. So you can use a boiling process, and you can boil the water and you can kill the bacteria which present into that water. Okay, so boiling, it is a very easy and one of the safe method for the killing of bacteria. After that, the next process for the disinfection, it is nothing but the use of excessive lime treatment. That means the lime that we already use in coagulation flocculation process. So if you are going to use excessive lime or excess quantity of lime, that also very dangerous or harmful to the bacteria which present in that water. Okay, but sometimes what happens, if you are going to add excessive lime, that change the color of water. Okay, so that excess lime or excessive lime, or the more quantity of lime, that is always harmful to the bacteria and that kills the bacteria. Okay, so that is one of the method which can use for the disinfection process. Next, iodine and bromine treatment. So you can use iodine and bromine pills for the killing of bacteria. So you can add that iodine and bromine pill to the water for the killing of bacteria. Next, the ozone treatment. So ozone treatment, it is nothing but the water is allowed to pass through the ozone gas. Ozone gas, it is nothing but the oxygen is converted into ozone, that is O2 is converted into O3 after the passing of that oxygen into the high electric current. Okay, so this oxygen is going to be converted into ozone, that is O2 is converted into ozone, and water is allowed to pass through that ozone gas, so that that ozone going to be kill the bacteria which present to that water. That ozone which act as a highly disinfectant and that kills the all type of bacteria which present to the water. So this method, ozone treatment method, that also method you can use for the killing of bacteria. Okay, so this ozone treatment, it is one of the method of disinfection. The next one is potassium permanganate treatment. So you can also add potassium permanganate, so that you can use for the killing of bacteria. Next, silver treatment, and next one is ultraviolet treatment. So ultraviolet, that is UV rays, UV rays plant. Okay, so this UV plant, UV rays, ultraviolet rays, that also very toxic and very harmful to the bacteria. So if you are going to pass the water through that UV rays, that also kill the all type of bacteria. So ozone treatment and ultraviolet treatment, UV rays treatment, these are the mostly treatment methods which are very efficient in killing of all type of bacteria, but one of the disadvantages is that it is a costly method. So to produce ozone, to produce UV rays, that required huge amount of cost, and so that this ozone and UV rays treatment, these are the costly treatment, but these treatment are most effective treatment for the killing of all type of bacteria. And the finally last one is the chlorination process. So chlorination, it is one of the most acceptable method for the disinfection, because the chlorine, which is easily applicable because of its high solubility, it is available in all forms, that is available in gas, liquid and solid powder form. It stops all type of metabolic activities into water. Because why? Because it is very toxic to the microorganism. Okay, again the solution of chlorine after the chemical reaction, it is harmless, and it also useful to provide a water distribution system. That means if suppose some chlorine is always present into that water, that reduced the growth of the microorganism, that prevents the contamination of water. So some dose of chlorine always present into that water after the chemical reaction. The results which after the chlorination process, it is a very long term effect and very long time effect. So the future contamination of water that going to be avoided due to the chlorination process, and the system is very cheap and very reliable, and not that much skill supervision required for the application of chlorine. So this one of the method, chlorination, it is very acceptable method, most cheap method and easily available method. So that method is mostly used for the disinfection of the water. So chlorination is one of the major and best method which is used for the killing of bacteria, and it also changed the taste and the odor of the water. Okay, so these are the various advantages of the chlorine. So chlorine you can use in the form of gas, you can use in the form of liquid, or in the form of bleaching powder in the form of solid. So this chlorine is available in all forms. Okay, so you can see this is what the post chlorination after the filtration, so that method which is used for the killing of all type of bacteria, and finally you get a bacteria free water, and that water you can store into the storage tank, and that water you can supply to the distribution system for the consumption purpose. And one of the method, it is fluoridation. You can see that red tank, that red tank is indication of the fluoridation process. So what is that fluoridation process? So fluoridation process, it is nothing but the removal of excessive fluoride which present in water. Okay, so that fluoridation process that going to be discussed in the next lecture. Okay, and what are the different terms which related with the chlorination, like a pre-chlorination, post-chlorination, rechlorination. So this term also we discuss in the latter. So that's all about the chlorination.